Welcome back to the GSL. I am Wolf. With me is Kaldor, and we're going into our evening session of the WCS Korea Challenger League matches.
We had a great morning. We had some really amazing matches. The two series that really stood out were the one with Fantasy. He was up against Solar. It was a great Terran versus Zerg, and then as the second game, we had a pretty amazing PvZ. So really good games today. Sniper versus Trap was the second series that I just mentioned. If you haven't caught on those games, if you haven't watched them live, make sure that you watch the VODs on GOMTV.net. Both series were crazy good. It's definitely a treat. And it just shows how good those games are even in the first round of the GSL Korea.
I mean, we have so many players who've fallen down from Codes in this first, danger day, if it will. Keller and I call these the danger days because it's the day where you have the danger of falling completely out of the tournament and having to go through that rigorous qualifiers that we actually had the pleasure of streaming last time. So if you guys want to check out and see just how hard those qualifiers are, there's tons of videos on Kaldor's YouTube at Kaldor TV for you guys to go and check out if you missed any of that, because there's a ton of coverage that we both did there.
There's actually a playlist in there in case you're interested, where I record about 13 videos for players where you can see them play and their hands as well with the keyboards. It's pretty impressive, especially sound that you can see there. Check it out. YouTube channel, as mentioned by Wolf, is Kaldor TV on YouTube. And here are the results that we had earlier today in our earlier session. Fantasy with a 2-1 against Solar. Sniper not able to best. Trap is now down in Code B.
Yep. And you can see Noble S fell pretty quickly to Golden with a 2-0. And our last series of the morning was Squirtle versus ALBM, where Squirtle just took him out with two straight-up attacks, and it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, Squirtle crushed him. I mean, he didn't leave the poor guy a chance at all. So it's always heartbreaking when you see a player going through the qualifier into Code A and then he loses in the first round. But Squirtle was just too strong.
Yeah, he really was.
There we have now the next matches for the day. 4 in total, of course. Effort versus Hack. A great Terran versus Zerg. Can't wait to cast that. And then we have the second game, which is actually kind of funny, because we met those guys early on already.
Yeah, Marine King and Sound were actually having a little smoke break outside. Only Marine King was smoking, but they were chilling out and just chatting a little bit, which is kind of ironic because it's funny that you would hang out with your opponent before a match. That's really... I don't know. It's kind of funny. Like, you can tell these guys are friends. They know each other. They like each other, and they're lighthearted enough to go into this, even though one of them is going to be back into those qualifiers after this.
Korean scene is really close, and now, of course, we start with our first match today. It's Effort versus Hack, as already pointed out. Startail versus CJ enters. Another Terran versus Zerg, and I'm pretty excited for this game. This is going to be a very good one.
Yeah, it should be great. Hack has been doing great versus Zerg recently, hearing a lot of good things coming out of that Startail house. Effort, on the other hand, somebody who's been really well known in Starcraft 1 and Starcraft 2. He hasn't made quite the name for himself yet. Wow.
What a shot. What a shot. Good job, camera team. I like it.
Hack just trying to get some more oxygen to his brain.
We actually talked to him in the backstage area, and he said that he feels a little bit tired today. Too much practice, I guess. On the other hand, we have Effort to the left, and he looks sharp today. He looks like really prepared and ready.
Yeah, he does. With the camera angle we have right now, you guys can't see very well, but usually he sits extremely low in his chair when he's playing, and that may actually occur going forward here as the game actually starts. Map is Daybreak, very standard, very balanced. Often called boring map since it's been in every tournament for a really long time. It's now out of the ladder. It's
also one of those maps where we've seen Hack in a Terran versus Zerg not too long ago, where he made a lot of mistakes because he said he was very intimidated by Zerg at the time, since he practices a lot with Life. Since then, he has definitely improved a lot in the matchup and is now in a position where he's a bit more aggressive, where he tries to pressure on his opponent instead of just being defensive. So I'm really interested to see what he can show us today. This is the GSL Code A, the WCS Challenger League, ladies and gentlemen. Brought to you, of course, by Colin Wolf. CJ and his player starts to the top right of the map. We have the lowrider Zerg. This is
CJ enters Effort.
He's known to have crazy APM, a really fast player.
Very cool keyboard, lots of different colors.
Yeah, I really like that. Nice custom keyboard that he has there. And to the bottom left, we have his opponent, a Startail player that has been around for a long time. His name in Korean means nuclear missile. This is
Startail Hack.
There he is.
You know, I was really surprised. I looked up a few of the details about him earlier, and I mean, I've known Hack for a long time, but I never realized that he's only 18 years old. I thought he was in his 20s, that he was like 22, 23, maybe even 24. But
Very
Hack
mature.
Hack is only 18, and yeah, he's very, very mature. When you talk to him, that's the first impression that you get. I would never believe that he's this young.
Yeah, same here. You telling me that actually is a little bit shocking.
On the other hand, Effort, just to touch on that too, he's 22 years old, so 4 years senior of his opponent, and of course he starts here with a hatch first, as you would expect, especially on Daybreak, but in turn versus Circuit.
Yep, exactly what you would expect to see. CC first comes down for Hack, meanwhile, and he will wall with the command center on the high ground, so he won't fall play to any of Effort's early aggression or shenanigans, which he has shown quite a bit of in the past. He's never afraid to drop an early pool.
Hack, by the way, qualified through the bracket. We have Effort, he dropped down, he's now in the first round of Code A, but Hack, he is the one player who had to win the entire bracket in the qualifier. He had, to be honest with you, a very, very easy bracket. He got a free win in the round of 16, a free win in the quarterfinals. In the semifinals, he has, he met a rather unknown player, and his first real challenge came in the final of his bracket, where he faced Deer, a Protoss player who is said to have developed this very annoying Air Protoss style versus Zerg, especially on maps like Aquilon Flats and Belcher Vestige. Hack was able to win with a 2-1, but now he finds himself up against a strong Zerg opponent in the first round of Code A, and as Wolf already talked about earlier, whoever loses today will be back in Code B.
Yeah, very true. Hack has, you know, I want to say he was shown the build to Effort, but Effort found it, it's the truth. And Hack, meanwhile, will actually get the scout off and see the gas. So Effort knows he's not dealing with any Reapers or anything like that. So if he continues to mine gas here, we'll know he's going to be very aggressive. He can always take out and put back in, but we'll see what he does once he hits 100 gas. And so far he's taken out, so we'll see. It looks like he's going to mine from just one drone.
Here comes the factory. We have the speed already for his opponent, and the SCV is not going to make it, I feel. The Queen getting in position. Yeah, that's it for the Harvester.
But he did double check, and he saw there's only one Harvester in there.
Yeah, he knows what's going on in the main base. He knows about the gas and what to use it. Gas is the most important part in StarCraft 2 in the opening. When you know what your opponent does with his gas, what he dedicates it to, then you have an idea of when exactly you need to be prepared for an attack and what kind of unit composition you need to prepare against. So gas always the limiting factor if you are facing a tech build.
Yeah, very true. I'm really curious to see if Effort's going to use this gas to be aggressive after he makes this next round of drones, because he has speed, and he's a very aggressive Zerg player in general, but he hasn't given us any indication that he's going to do that just yet.
We are already starting with the wall off for Hack, and this is something that I want to touch on briefly. We had Noblesse play earlier, and he did not do too well against his opponent Golden because his wall was never really airtight.
Yeah.
All those supply depots were always lowered, and he didn't really get the wall off. Definitely a bit of a problem, so Hack needs to make sure that this does not happen to him.
Very true. We do have now a second drone being put into the extractor and the third one, meanwhile, and he's adding a second gas at his natural, in fact, as he takes the third base. So they're starting to get that gas up as he expands. And oh, this is such an important Overlord Scout. Now you can see, do you have a factory or not, and also do you have a third command center, where is it? And he's going to get to see everything.
You can really note the Overlord timing here. Around 6:30, 6:40, you send the Overlord in to find out what's going on. You want to know about the third command center, which is the most important thing to note, of course. So he knows about the tech lab, he knows therefore when Stim can be started, but he also knows that there is a third command center, so this tells him quite a bit. It tells him that the Terran player won't dedicate his resources to a 2-base timing, which is very rarely the case, and therefore he can safely take his own third. Has to be a little bit cautious though, because Hellions in your main base, in your natural mineral line, are very dangerous, so you need to be able to wall off against them.
Yeah, as we saw earlier today, a lot of Hellion action. A really cool scan here. That's actually to let him know if there's any structures like that Bailing Nest, for example, but also lets him know if there's any wall set up, how many queens might be out there. And that's really a lot of information that Hack got with that scan. It doesn't look like much if you just look at it in one way, because he didn't see a ton of things, but it lets him know there's no wall, and that's really, really important for him if he wants to continue to make Hellions work.
Effort trying to dart in, but the wall is tight. He sees the gas though, and as mentioned earlier, gas limits what you can do, what kind of tech path you go down. So him knowing that there are double gas at the natural is already very important to him. And we have now Effort going straight into the Spire. He took the third base very late and was playing this on 2 base for quite some time. So this makes sure that his tech is a little bit faster than it normally would be. Took the third after all, but he already has his lair on the way and is now going straight into the Spire. So this is, Mutalisk timing that will hit roughly around the 11-minute mark.
Hack's going to be so frustrated that scan did not reveal what he wanted to see. He wants to see the tech. He wants to see, do you have an Infestation Pit? Do you have a Spire? Of course, Infestation Pit not very common these days to be making this matchup this time, but he wants to know about the Spire because it affects how his Hellions can be on the map and when he can drop and where he can drop. So also he wants to be able to make turrets in his main base if he knows that there's a Spire, but he doesn't get to see it. So now he's a little bit in the dark as to what tech Effort has chosen. He can assume Mutas, but he doesn't know for sure.
We have the double engineering bay already for Hack, but he needs missile turrets, and he needs something against the Mutalisks that are being built in just a few seconds, at least they should be. There's 1,000, and now 9 Mutalisks being built. You can see how the timing really works out. We're 10 minutes into the game, the Mutalisks will be completed fairly soon, and then when they make their way across the map, they will arrive after the 11th minute mark, just barely. Nice block here at the third base, another scan now going down at the third for Effort. So oh my god, that was
could not
the
have been
best Widow Mine ever.
That could not have been better. Effort tries to set up a sneaky little trap, which I really like, but it does not work out. That was really awesome for Hack.
When Hack saw that, it was definitely going like, okay, thank you, David, thanks.
Yes. He was giving some shout-outs. He was like making plans in his calendar to get a tattoo of DK on the back of his shirt. I mean, on the back of his back.
On the left ass cheek.
Yeah.
I love David.
I love David. It's like on a Widow Mine. Oh, these Mutas are doing a lot of damage. You definitely can't finish that turret. And this is the part of the problem about not knowing your opponent's tech.
That's exactly the time that we talked about earlier. He didn't know what was going on, and now he has to hold on in his main base somehow. The missile turret's not ready, but Hack is moving out with what he has, and that's a few bio units and those Hellions. He's losing a lot of the Harvesters, though, and he really struggles to establish those missile turrets.
Gets a cancel on the hatchery, sets up a forward position, but this base here is so exposed right now. Oh, that was so smart. He pulled it over so he could weaken the Marines and waste the Widow Mine shot, weaken the SVs, that is.
Really, really well done. He's making the best out of it, sacrificing one Mutalisk to take down a lot of these Harvesters. Effort with a great play so far. In the middle of the map, all those units close to being surrounded, but Hack just gets barely out of them.
Yeah, good Widow Mine hit there. Effort seems to know how to use the Widow Mines against Hack, but it sometimes seems like he's still able to lose a lot of his units to them. He's making a few mistakes with his micro against them in normal fights, but he takes a supply lead here, and he's done a lot of damage with his Mutalisk. This gives him a lot of flexibility, and he can remake that fourth base fairly soon. One problem for him, though, is his creep spread is not very thick, and it's not very far just yet, so Hack is going to be able to clean this up relatively easily once he gets out there.
Yeah, if you compare him to other Zerg players, his creep spread is definitely lacking a bit, but he's also going into a fourth base now at the bottom right of the map, and he's really playing a great game here with the nice bank that he has. The upgrades are a little bit late, but he completed 1-1 and immediately starts +2/+2, so he's not wasting any time here, and will have the second set of upgrades way ahead of the Terran player.
Yeah, Hack hasn't started it because he doesn't have that armory just yet. This bunker doing wonders for Hack, as those Zerglings basically were useless. A few sneaky Banelings, though. It's all about that Widow Mine, about those Banelings, because, oh, speaking of Widow Mines,
there's one. And a turret. Oh, this is gonna hurt, and it hurts quite a bit. But one turret won't be enough, even with the SCVS repairing it.
But this Mega Drop is gonna get some good Baneling hits on it, but still, he's got a lot of units in here. He's got to pull away from that Spore Crawler, though. He's losing his medivacs.
Yeah,
very
he's losing the medivacs, and now he's trying to get out there, but he loses one of the medivacs immediately. Could have been better here, and he's down to 44 Harvesters.
This is so important that he gets that cancel on the hatchery again, though, because that's the one thing he's able to accomplish here. His drop is cleaned up, mostly killed. He's down 30 supply here, but getting that base means that he's still on an even economy with the Zerg player.
Trying to trap those units, and here comes the stim. The Widow Mine is taken out already.
No medivacs nearby, and even if he had, the Mutas would clean them up. Only wasting one Baneling there. That was a great trade for Effort. He's getting further and further ahead by the moment.
Yeah, Hack could have tried to target down a few of the Banelings, but he was definitely in the bad position. He was at the bottom right, couldn't get out of there. No medivacs, no speed boost. So at this point, Effort definitely playing the better game. He is now going into the fourth base, but he has to be careful because Hack is trying to go for +2/+2. And if Hack is able to get the 3-3 out, then things could spiral out of control a little bit. But what I like about Effort is he knows this and goes straight into Hive.
Yeah, he's hitting all of his steps correctly. He just continues to try to take that base to the bottom right. He's also now expanding to the center, but he's doing it so patiently. Whenever he gets attacked, he capitalizes on that. Oh, your units are over here. I'll catch them, or I'll attack you with mutas at the same time so that you lose something out of it. Keeps canceling. He's being very cost efficient with his units, which is hard for a Zerg to do.
Baneling Trap not activated. He doesn't know about it. There's no scan. If he walks in there, it would be a problem. He's trying to drop, and he's dropping at the bottom too. Ah, that was so close. He saw it, but he couldn't do anything about it.
Uh-oh, he needs to pick up here. Hack, that is. And get out. He waits till the last second.
The Banelings were revealed by the scan and immediately taken out. That was important. The ones in the main base, though, don't do too much. And Hack is closing the gap in supply, but only because Effort didn't use his bank yet.
Yeah, he's trying to decide exactly how he wants to use it. Looks like it may be used in an Ultralisk Cavern first, as soon as he's finished with that Hive.
It will be. I feel that there's no doubt that he's going into an Ultralisk Cavern with the upgrades that he already has. The Mutalisks, on the other hand, they are really supplementing this quite well. It's a position where he can shut down the drop play, but he needs to be a bit careful. He still, there is a good force for Hack on the map, and the Terran player has...
Oh! Well, that good force on the map just got cut down mostly by poor micro by Hack. Good splitting on the mutas against those Widow Mines. He will be able to clean both of them up. Hack is in trouble. One thing that he has going for him, though, is he does start +3 for his attack really, really quickly. He's right on top of that. Now Effort starts 3-3 with his Hive done. Uh-oh.
I completely agree with you, by the way. It was so well done with the Mutalisks, and he's going in with the Banelings. Yeah, but those guys, they still dodge. That's not the best trades here with the Banelings. You didn't really need those, but he was occupied in the middle of the map, where once again the Widow Mines are burrowing up.
Yeah, those trades were even worse. Hack getting a few free shots here. Uh-oh, there's a Baneling underneath. That was
Apparently
scary.
Hack got the spawning pool. I think we missed that. I'm not quite sure if it was actually on camera, but now we have the spawning pool being rebuilt in the main.
Yeah, he must have targeted it when he had that one drop in the main. We saw it end up getting cleaned up.
Another
Smart
base
move.
established at the bottom right. 4 bases for Effort. Hack is still on 3.
As soon as that spawning pool is done, he's going to make a ton of Zerglings.
And once again, the 3-3 up here for Effort. He doesn't miss a second. How does Hack always dodge those Banelings? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like he keeps getting some free hits on these Banelings without even having to split.
Left side of the map, we have another run by the 3rd base of Hack.
Yeah, he's going to actually chase those SCVs away and maybe even force a lift on that command center again. Oh, he needs to split, but he doesn't have a lot of room to work with.
That
was
well
a great
done,
hit.
Really good hit with the Widow Mine, but the theme of the game is just Hack being way behind of his opponent and falling further and further behind.
Yeah, Effort is just, he's got this game by the horns and he's riding it. He's just very careful with how he engages against the Terran army, always dominant. No fungal hit there on the medevac, unfortunately.
I love how Effort plays against the Widow Mines. I really love this. This splitting is so good, and he's not afraid to sacrifice a Mutalisk or 2 to do so.
Yeah, it's always worth it. If you can sacrifice a mutas to save 12 Zerglings, or even 5 mutas, then it's fine. All those Widow Mines doing so much damage to the Marines. He's so low on hit points, there's no medevacs nearby. He is going to get crushed here. Here comes some medevacs, but they're a bit too late. Fungal hits the Widow Mine, revealing it. And Hack may actually just roll over and die at this point. He just doesn't have any hit points left.
I don't think that he actually needs that Effort needs the Ultralisk Cavern here. He's already done too much damage. He is going in and he is doing so much damage. You can really see how the Terran player goes down to 60 supply now. He doesn't even mine properly from his 3rd base anymore, and Effort is already on 5.
Yeah, Effort is doubling his supply at this point, mining only gas down here. He's got 3 drones ready to mine the rest of it as soon as that extractor finishes, and GG indeed.
Hack going down in flames, at least in game number 1. Effort playing really well here, and let's see if this loss was enough to wake Hack up. Terran player here definitely in a position where he now needs to focus a little bit more. That game was well played by Effort, but also a few mistakes by Hack. He could have done better.
Effort at first was showing some kind of shakiness against the Widow Mines, but as the game went on, he's definitely showed that he has a lot of experience dealing with those and is quite good at it. Some of the Mutalisk pulls we saw were incredible.
Yeah, the first hit with the Widow Mine against the Banelings and the Zerglings, that was great. That was the best hit that Hack could hope for. But still, the game just looked much more crisp from the point of view from Effort.
Yeah, absolutely did. And Hack was always playing from behind, trying to take some of Effort's weaknesses, trying to shut him down with drops, but Effort was always ready. His Mutalisks were really, really well controlled. And part of the problem for Hack was the Mutalist surprise. He didn't have the turrets ready. He lost a lot of SCVs to that. That was a big issue for him.
He didn't really expect this. You could really see it. And it was a standard timing. We talked a bit about when those Mutalisks would arrive at the base, and Hack knows that, of course. But he never expected them to be there. So he lost a lot of Harvesters, and Effort made the best out of all those Mutalisks that were over there. He wasn't only content with taking a few SCVs on the main base, but he followed them all the way down to the natural, attacked even more, and the counterattack of Hack didn't do damage.
Yeah, very true. Star Station is map number 2. It's loading up.
Yep.
Very large 4-player map. A map that really plays into Effort's style that we saw in Game 1.
Heading into the game right now, game number 2 between Hack and Effort here at the GSL Korea, the WCS Challenger League, brought to you by Carl and Wolf.